Breaking news! The Chicago Blackhawks have waved forward Corey Perry. In a team statement, Chicago states that Perry has engaged in conduct that is unacceptable, and that if he does clear waivers, his contract will be terminated, effective immediately.
This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto, and the Leafs are back in action tonight, and yes, it's probably too early for standings watching. Coming into this one, the Leafs are in a wildcard spot, just 2 points behind the Red Wings for third in the Atlantic. The Buds will also look different up front for this game. But before we get to that, we bring in our Leafs reporter, Mark Masters. Mark, how's it going?
Hi, Marissa.
Okay, Mark, it's the first time the Panthers will be in Toronto since the playoffs. And it's a potential 4-point swing in the division. Is it too early to call this one a big game?
This is a big game. The Panthers are 4 points up on the Leafs. They won the previous meeting this season. The Leafs have lost 2 in a row. They're back home for the first time since November 11th. And their general manager came out yesterday and said the team's been too inconsistent this season, and it's been a bit of a concern. So the Leafs have a chance to make a statement tonight. It's game number 20 for them, Marissa. It ain't early anymore.
It looks like Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews are split up into different lines tonight. Why did Sheldon Keefe ultimately get to this decision?
Well, Sheldon Keefe was reluctant to make this change because of how well the John Tavares line with Tyler Bertuzzi and especially William Nylander have been playing. But the top line, like the team, has been inconsistent this season. They've had some big nights. Matthews has 3 hat tricks. Marner's got a couple 4-point games, but those have dried up recently. In the last 7 games, Matthews doesn't have a 5-on-5 goal. Marner just has 3 assists. So they're making the change now as they come back home. Nylander has gone a couple games without a point. So maybe Keefe thinks the time is right, but make no mistake about it, Marissa, he was not eager to make this change.
Mark Masters, thanks as always.
Anytime, Marissa.
The Patrick Kane watch is officially over. As per TSN Hockey insider Chris Johnston, the Detroit Red Wings have signed Kane. It's a 1-year deal for Kane, who's coming off hip surgery this offseason. And it's a move that reunites him with Alex DeBrincat from his Chicago days. Who knows if they'll be playing on the same line? It's much too early to tell. But the Red Wings signing Kane means a few things. Like, for starters, they're going for it. Sitting third in the Atlantic right now, Detroit has got off to a hot start this season. But outside of the big 3 in Larkin, DeBrincat, and Raymond, they could use some more firepower in their lineup. That could come in the form of Kane, who had 21 goals and 57 points last season with Chicago and New York. That said, he's clearly slowed down. And when you add in the risk of coming back from hip surgery at the age of 35, it's more than a gamble to bet on Kane being an impact player at this stage in his career. It's also a gamble from Detroit's perspective, considering they're probably punching above their weight class right now. As it stands, the Wings have scored 49 goals at even strength, which is 5th in the NHL, but they're second last in expected goals at 34, which is 15 less than they've scored. That differential has them above Vancouver in goal differential above expected, which might point to some fool's gold and regression. Tonight marks the final night of the group stage in the NBA Inseason Tournament, and to this point, it's been fun. We tried to go through all the tie-breaking scenarios to see how the quarters will shape up, but quite frankly, it's too complicated.
It's infinitely complex. They have access to infinite time and space, but they're not bound by anything.
Yeah, exactly like that. What we do know is that the Pacers and Lakers have both qualified, and the rest will be decided tonight. If we're looking at odds for the tourney, the Bucks, Lakers, and Suns are tightly grouped as favorites, even though Milwaukee and Phoenix technically haven't clinched a spot in the next round yet. And when it comes to who's going to win the tourney MVP, our friends at FanDuel have the Greek Freak narrowly ahead of LeBron James, with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker a little longer. Unfortunately for the Raptors, they are eliminated. But Toronto will have a chance to move to the 500 mark with a win over the Nets tonight. Time now for my favorite segment and yours, Why We Love Sports Today.
Why we love sports today.
It must be a thrill for any kid to watch their parent play a pro sport. But to practically be involved in the action is a whole different story. At the Celtics game on Monday, Al Horford blocked a shot underneath the net, and it actually ended up finding his son. Al couldn't chat for too long, but still took the time to give him a pat on the chest and check in on him. That's just so sweet. It's just, we love a sweet little father-son moment, no? And we finish like we do most Tuesdays now, with a little anytime goal scorer action on FanDuel. And yeah, okay, so we ran this last week on Wednesday, but there were no games on Tuesday, so we're back, baby. And we gave you a winner, so I hope you guys made some money off of me. You know we're gonna go back to Leafs Panthers. They played once this year and Matthews was held off the score sheet. And if we look back at the playoffs, he was also goalless in all 5 of those games. But let's look at the regular season last year where he absolutely torched the Panthers, scoring in all 4 games, putting up 5 goals total. And we are smashing him tonight at plus 105 on FanDuel. And call this chalk all you want, but that won't matter when it's a winner. And just a reminder, those of you in the Leafs region can watch Panthers Leafs tonight at 6:30 Eastern on TSN. That's all for today. We'll see you right back at tomorrow at 3 Eastern. No Pacific. Have a good one.